Well, I noticed from your Vinwiki profile that you like Porsche 944s.
I do.
How do you feel about 993s?
I love 993.
Well, congratulations, you just won one.
Oh my goodness.
Happy New Year! At the end of last year, 2019, we finally hit 1 million subscribers. Thank you all so much for subscribing, for watching, for sharing the videos, and thank you for downloading our app. Like I'd said before, when we hit 1 million subscribers, I was going to give away my 1995 Porsche 993 to one of our Vinwiki app users, and this weekend I did that. So this video is here to announce exactly how that happened, but it's also sponsored by Honey. We couldn't do things like this without sponsors, and Honey is a free browser extension that you can download in 2 clicks and add to Chrome. It works at over 30,000 stores and finds the best coupon codes, making online shopping as easy as it ought to be. Over 17 million people have downloaded Honey, and you can download it today at joinhoney.com/Vinwiki. I needed to shop for a new battery tender because my 430 Scuderia is about to come back from esoteric detailing, so I downloaded it, added it to Chrome, and put this new battery tender in my cart at Advanced Auto Parts, and clicked Apply Coupons at Honey, and it downloaded or applied 5 of the best ones that it thought would work, found me the best option, and saved me over 25%. Honey also lets you earn rewards. I was looking at some tires on Tire Rack, and I saw that Honey was going to let me save 6% in that way. So be sure to download it now at joinhoney.com/Vinwiki. If you're not, you're just missing out on all the savings and the chance to thank them for supporting us here at Vinwiki. So yes, today is the day we get to reveal who won my Porsche 993, and it ended up going to our Vinwiki user Catharsis. His name is Peter. He's a college student at the University of Washington, and he flew in over the weekend to pick it up. We drove it around a little bit, had a little bit of a manual transmission driving lesson, and we went off to Caffeine and Octane, and then he's now on a road trip back home. He's going to drive it over 2,600 miles, certainly a man after my own heart, and I couldn't be happier to see it go into such great hands. And so I'm going to let Peter talk to you a little bit about how it feels to be the new owner of my Porsche 993 for free.
So I woke up at about 11 and I checked my phone and I had an email from Ed Bolian, and it said to please call him at this number. And the only thing that I could think of that I would be getting this email for would be the Porsche giveaway. And so I was immediately extremely excited about it. I gave him a call, and the first thing he said was that he saw from my Vinwiki profile that I like 944s. Then I said yes, and he said, well, do you like 993s just as well? And I said, absolutely I do. It went from there. We talked a little bit more on the phone about it, and then started making the arrangements to fly out here for the Porsche. I'm still definitely somewhat in shock about it. It's very surreal being here, getting to fly out and see Ed and drive the Porsche, and not to mention own the Porsche. It's hard to wrap my head around, but it's extremely exciting and something that I never really anticipated would happen. Because we all enter these giveaways and use the app and whatever we need to do to be a part of these things, but we never think that we'll be the one that actually wins. And so it was a very unique experience that I haven't had before or anything like it. After Ed told me I'd won, we started immediately working on the logistics of when I could fly out and pick it up. I had to miss the first 2 days of school to do this because I started on the 6th and I did not have time to do everything that needed to be done in the last weekend between work and school. I'm 21 years old and I'm an archaeology major at the University of Washington in Seattle. I'm a senior this year, but I'm probably not going to graduate this year as I have more classes than I can fit in the last year. I've loved cars ever since I was a little child. My parents told me that the first word I actually ever said was Mercedes. I don't know how true that is, but that's what they've told me, as we used to own an older one when I was young. I've grown up just liking everything about cars in general. I like pretty much every manufacturer that has something interesting. I've never been able to stick to just one brand. Currently, I also own a 2005 Subaru Legacy GT wagon that I purchased in 2017, and I've done plenty of work to. I had future plans that I was actually just about to start doing, changing up a whole bunch of things on the car in the beginning of March, but now that I've got the Porsche, we'll see how that goes. I might have to push it back another couple months. I first downloaded the Vinwiki app in December 2017, and I added my own car to it, and then immediately was not sure how to proceed. I took probably about 3 to 4 months off from using the app before I got bored one day and decided I'm gonna start adding some cars from like DuPont registry and places like that. I started doing that for a little bit, and then when my local exotic car type event started happening up in the spring, I started taking pictures of the cars there, and adding them to the Vinwiki app in my list that I created called Redmond Town Center Cars. And from there, I kind of started expanding on lists that I created, since I couldn't continuously add vehicles to that list without seeing them all year round. So I decided I was going to make a list about white cars that I found on the Vinwiki app. Immediately realized that was a bit of a stretch because of how many cars are added, and started adding all the interesting ones that I could find. And then from there, I decided that I also wanted to be more specific in my list, so I created a list about 944 turbos that Ed had mentioned previously, and I created a list of Alpina BMWs. And basically, I just go around on the internet and try to find all the 944 turbos and Alpinas that I can find and put them in the list. I also go on websites like Bring a Trailer and add interesting cars that I find from there for other users to add to their lists, or just in general for contributions to the app. I see the app becoming a much bigger platform for car enthusiasts in general, as opposed to just vehicle historians and people like that. I think that general car enthusiasts will start to add their own vehicles more and document the things they do to them, as opposed to just keeping physical receipts and everything like that. I think the online platform is much easier to access for everyone, especially when you're thinking about buying and selling vehicles. It's much faster to see on Vinwiki, oh, it's been added there, so I'm gonna just look through all the things that have been contributed, and you'll get pieces of history that you wouldn't have otherwise gotten. And you can also look at that without actually going to the seller and looking through all their paperwork and spending hours doing that. I do think that the app could be a more socially oriented thing as well, what with users tagging each other in vehicles for lists that they know that someone else is working on, as well as talking to each other in the comments about different vehicles, congratulating each other on new purchases, things like that. So I'm looking forward to contributing as much new information as I can to the 993 over the course of my ownership, as well as documenting the entire road trip home and anything else that may happen that's interesting with the car. And I'm not going to immediately sell it. I'm definitely going to keep it for quite a while and drive it as much as I can. It's definitely a car that I never expected to acquire or be shopping for at all at 21 years old, but I'm thrilled to have it, and I'm extremely grateful to Ed for the opportunity to own one. Excited as I was to win the Porsche, it immediately occurred to me that it's been years since I last drove a manual car. I learned how to drive on a 1974 MGB. That's a 4-speed, and it's completely different than the Porsche with the way the clutch works and the transmission. So I arrived at Ed's house and went in and immediately saw the Porsche and was just, again, back in shock that it was actually mine. It's a beautiful, beautiful car, even in black, as Ed likes to say. It would be very interesting to see the car in other colors, and repainting it is something that I might consider doing at some point in the future. But it certainly doesn't need it to look good. It looks amazing. So Ed backs it out of the garage into the driveway, and I get in the car and immediately realize that I am very rusty. I would say it definitely would have been worth it to try and practice a little bit before I came if I had had time. Unfortunately, I didn't. So I immediately stalled it several times. So in addition to getting a free Porsche from Ed, I also got a free stick lesson from Ed. And I think I'm getting more comfortable with it at this point, so I believe that we stand a pretty good chance of getting it back home. So as soon as I actually start driving with Ed, once we leave the driveway, 3 deer start jumping around, crossing the road in front of us, and I'm afraid that I'm immediately gonna mess up the Porsche by deer attack. Fortunately, they scampered back off into the woods and we were just fine. So I'm over the moon excited. It's one of these experiences you never really think you'll have as a car guy. I think the new world of automotive entertainment being based on YouTube has created a lot of these really interesting opportunities that wouldn't have otherwise existed. And I think that that's just a testament to the fact that we need to support our best channels. And obviously I'm a proud user of the Vinwiki app, so Vinwiki would definitely be a channel that I would recommend supporting. Be sure to download the Vinwiki app, not just to keep track of my progress with the Porsche, but also to document your own automotive stories and ownership of your vehicles.
Congratulations, Peter. I hope you enjoy the Porsche. As I mentioned before, this video is sponsored by Honey. They were a great supporter of our 993 giveaway. Visit joinhoney.com/Vinwiki and start saving money today. Also, this month's car stories are sponsored by Auto Tempest. Auto Tempest allows you to search nationally through all the major car listing sites and see where your next dream car is hiding. So whether you're looking for a project or something perfect and ready to drive across the country, it's a great place to go search. So check out autotempest.com today.